Hi everyone, Amy here from VSG to be the real me, doing my week 3 post VSG update for you. I'll get straight into the numbers. This week I lost 1.8 kilos, which was kind of lame after 3.4 last week, but I guess I'm getting closer to that stall that everyone seems to talk about. That takes my total weight at the moment to 108 kilos, which is 238.7 pounds. So the 1.8 kilo loss was 3.96 pounds. That takes me a total from surgery of 8.4 or 18.51 pounds, sorry. And total from my high weight on the 12th of May is 16 kilos or 35.27 pounds. So I can't complain with that because it's only been 2 months, almost 3, and I'm down 16 kilos. So that's pretty damn awesome. Dad asked me today actually how much I'd lost because it looks drastic. He's a bit worried, but anyway. Okay, so I was going to do just a snippet of my weight loss story, what I've done in the past, and the same thing that everyone else has done more than likely. I did OptiFast when I was about 19, 20 maybe. Lost a ton of weight, but of course once I start eating it all came back, and some, as per usual. I've done Weight Watchers on and off over the years, lose weight, put it back, same story. I did do Cohen's, and I'd lost 25 kilos in 6 months, and that's when I was about 24, I think. And I got down to a size 12 bottom and size 10 top, which the bones in my chest, I could actually see them, and I mean, I still had curves in all the right places, don't get me wrong. I had no boobs, but that's okay. People were starting to ask me if I was sick, and that was at a size 12, so we'll soon find out how I go with this surgery to how small I actually get, which is really handy because I have all the clothes down to size 10 and 12s. So I'm pretty lucky there that I don't have to re-buy everything because it's all in bags in the top of my wardrobe. Handy. That'll keep the husband happy anyway. So that, just the weight issues have been there since I think I was about 11 when it started, and it started with my ex-stepdad feeding us Hungry Jack's or Burger King for the Americans, like every day while Mum was at work, just to spite my older brother because he was an arsehole. My stepdad was an arsehole. And Mum didn't know about it, so, and of course as kids you're not going to say anything because you want it. So that started that. She'd moved to America with him because he was American. Dad wouldn't let us go. Same story. Went to Dad. He had no idea what to do with my sister and I, and it was either food at Grandma's, which was, massive plates full of food that you had to eat because it was Grandma's house, or it was takeaway. So that started the majority of my weight loss and really bad eating forever, just because that's all I knew. My mum was a single mum of 3, so we got basics. When takeaway was like the biggest treat ever when we lived with her. Once we were with Dad, it was school money for lunches every day, and you just buy all the shit in the world because you got the money to. So yes, and it just sticks with you, unfortunately. So what finally made my decision to have the surgery, I know a guy that works with my husband had it, and he's lost like 100 kilos or something crazy in the last almost 2 years ago he had his surgery. So I've seen the change and admire him for doing it because he was a big boy that is obviously, worked hard to lose half of his body. And I have, in my family, there's been a lot of deaths in the last 18 months-ish, almost 2 years. I had both my husband's grandparents die within 10 months of each other. I had my grandma die, and she was buried 3 months to the day after my brother. He died in February 13. So that was a huge stress trigger, a huge emotional trigger. That, I mean, I think I've put on more weight in the last 2 years than I had in the last 5 years. And that was including pregnancy. So my stepdad's brother died. My two elderly lady that I know that lives down where my mum lives. Visit them every time we go there. They treat my child and my sister's children like their own grandchildren. So they were quite close, and they died within 2 weeks of each other. So that's been really rough for mum. Granted, all of those were old age, apart from my brother. He was 31. But it just makes you realise, you know, that you need to appreciate what you've actually got and make the most of your life. I mean, my grandpa passed away 2 weeks before my surgery. But they were 97 and 98, so they had a damn good run, really. But at the same time, it makes me look up and just realise that I don't want to end my life, basically. I want to be there for my daughter. I want to be there for me. I want to be there for my husband, my family, my friends. I've got far too much life to live to just sit on the couch and waste it. So that was my ultimate decision for surgery, was all of that piled on top of me, and to just go, enough's enough. I can't do this anymore. It's not fair on me. It's not fair on my daughter especially. It's not fair on my husband. It's time to change. So that was my final hurdle, I suppose, that got me to surgery decision. And as scared as my husband was for me, you know, just the whole risk of death and all this kind of thing. My mum was terrified, but that's understandable with the amount of crap she's put up with. So he supported me 100%, but at the same time he was a bit scared. The day that I went to fly out to go have my surgery, I think my dad hugged me the tightest he ever has, which kind of threw me a little bit, but I mean, they were all just scared, really, for what they didn't know that could happen. But the funny thing is I had a really good nurse that, you know, put that stuff on my tummy to do whatever and got me into my surgical gown and all that sort of thing. So she really lightened the mood because she was lovely. And when I got into the surgery room and I laid on the table and, you know, they're all talking to each other, I suppose. And I looked up, and the big surgical lights that are on the ceiling, there was 2 of them. They actually had Martin printed around the side of them, and that was my brother's name. So instantly, as soon as I saw it, I knew I would be okay, because he was obviously there watching over me, because I don't think Martin would be printed on lights very often. So that was my little comfort, to know that I'd come out on the other side and I'd be alright. So, and I still think of it now and just know that he's still there somewhere. So anyway, enough of that sad stuff. So on to food. I am so over the purees already. I've been finding it really, really tough to know what to make, because I cannot stand the thought of pureed meat and vegetables. Like if I did like a casserole or a stew, and it makes me want to vomit to look at it pureed. So I've been living for the last week on porridge, or oatmeal as American guys call it, and wheat bix, which is just a cereal of these little blocks of wheat, cups of milk, either plain or I mix like coffee in them to make like an iced coffee. What else have I had? Mashed potato. Nothing really exciting, but I cannot for the life of me have protein shakes right now. They are so incredibly sweet that I can't physically drink them. It makes me want to vomit. Protein. I've tried 2 different protein powers. I've tried the Premier protein shakes in chocolate, vanilla, and the strawberries and cream, and I can't stand any of them. I have had Up and Goes, Like I've had 2 of those, I think, which are just like the pre-packaged milk breakfast in a box, basically, in the liquid form. But that's really about it. So I overthink eating, which is something I've always done, especially on Weight Watchers and things like that. Can't think of what I want, so I just give up and don't eat it at all. So, thank God for Greek yogurt as well this week, because that's all I've really had. I did have a virus thing, whatever the hell it was, on Wednesday. That kicked my ass. I didn't eat anything all day. I only had a little bit of water and some hydrolyte icy poles, which put all the salts and minerals and stuff back into your body. So the next morning I woke up feeling normal, which I still just find so strange that it even happened. Just out of the blue. And then the Friday we went to our local show, like a fair, and to push my daughter around in the stroller for, I think we were there for 4 hours, just under 4 hours, through either boggy sand or grass that was like this long, and it was so hard to push a stroller through, and just dodging people, and it was a workout for me, just because, you know, I'm not eating anything really. And then by the time I got home I had to have a nap because I was exhausted. Thank God my daughter wanted to have a nap too, because that gave me the excuse to do it. So yeah, that's really all I've done this past week. I'm going to be making a casserole thing tomorrow, and I'll just chew the hell out of it to eat it, because otherwise I'm just not eating anything, pretty much. I'm so tired of just yogurt and milk. But it's protein, so that's the main thing. I wanted to do a couple of shout outs too. One is to Little Aussie Mel. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done videos at all, and they're actually really quite helpful, which is strange, but that's okay. You're my sleeve sister from another mister. I value your friendship. Also, Downsizing Mel, Harry Draco Girl, NZ Gastric Sleeve, and Fat Kings. Thank you for the shout outs this week. It means a lot to actually be recognised and know that other people support you. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Also, NZ Gastric Sleeve tagged me in a 50 random questions tag. So I'll get all those questions off her video and do a video of it. So possibly Wednesday or something I'll do it and post it. So nothing much more for today, I don't think. Oh, my measurements. I have just like a printout thing that I do my shoulders, my neck, my left arm I do my like upper arm, forearm and my wrist on both. Bust, waist and hips I do the very top of my leg and like halfway down my thigh, for my thighs. My hips I do the very top of my hips and also kind of like halfway down my butt, if that makes any sense, because I'm all hip, ass and thigh. Lucky me. And I do my knee, my calf and my ankles, and since the 23rd of May, which was like 2 weeks after my highest weight, since then I've lost 63 centimetres from all of those different areas. So my waist I lost 9, so that's pretty awesome. But my waist and my boobs is always the one thing that'll lose it first, not the ass. That'll come last. So anyway, I hope you're all well, and I will talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.